Wow, 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 wow. I did not see this coming. I was not fully sure that this was going to get done, but my God, Rob Pelinka got it done. So, after 16 plus months of dealing with Russell Westbrook and the Russ fans, Laker Nation can finally breathe a sigh of relief because Russell Westbrook is no longer a Los Angeles Laker. And what they got back in exchange for trading Russell Westbrook could help turn this season around for the Lakers. Doesn't guarantee them a playoff spot, but it might be good enough to help them get back in the play-in tournament. And if they get in the play-in tournament and they're healthy, they could make the playoffs, and who knows, maybe they'll be good enough to go on a run. We don't know, but with the pieces they got here, they have a chance to be able to do that. So, Russell Westbrook has officially been traded from the Los Angeles Lakers. Laker Nation couldn't be happier. There's obviously going to be some Russ fans that are going to take shots at Laker Nation because Laker Nation was so brutal towards Russ. It was not a pretty sight. Russell Westbrook's time in LA has been nothing short of a failure. His time as a Laker has been nothing short of a failure. It's been a miserable time. It's probably been a miserable time for Russ, but it's definitely been a miserable time for Laker Nation because they've wanted this man gone since day one. They wanted him gone from the beginning. They never wanted this trade to happen in the first place. And this whole situation got messy. At some point, this needed to happen. It needed to happen for the Lakers, the Lakers organization as a whole, and it needed to happen for Russell Westbrook because the level of toxic energy that he was dealing with through these 16 months had to be brutal. And yes, a good chunk of that toxic energy was directed towards him specifically because of how he was playing on the court. Now, in terms of Russell Westbrook, me personally, as a non-Lakers fan, I did not put all the blame on Russell Westbrook. If you listen to how many Lakers fans were talking, you were thinking that Russell Westbrook was the only problem. If Russ was off this team, we would have a better chance to win. Russell Westbrook was the only issue. I don't believe that. Now, I do agree that Russ was a major issue on this team, but he wasn't the only issue, and he wasn't the main cause for you guys missing the playoffs last year, and for you guys currently being the 13th seed in the Western Conference. He wasn't the main cause for that. There are several issues with this team. Now, he was one of the biggest issues, which is why he needed to go, but he wasn't the main issue. He wasn't the main man responsible for how everything turned out over these last 16 months. And it felt like Laker Nation was being extra brutal towards Russ, which, again, in some cases, it wasn't warranted. In other cases, it was warranted because, my God, he had some bad performances, man. There were times where he was playing awful, and nobody could defend that. But at the end of the day, that's just who Russ is. And the Lakers should have known that when they decided to even make the attempt to trade him in the first place. You should have known who Russell Westbrook is. Russell Westbrook is who he is. You're going to get the good with the bad. If you watched him in OKC, if you watched him in Houston, you understand when it comes to Russell Westbrook, you're going to get the good and the bad together. He's going to make some plays that are absolutely spectacular, magnificent, some great passes, some crazy shots, and he's just going to make those type of plays that are like, wow, how did he make that type of play? But at the same time, you'll also get these horrible passes, these terrible shots, these awful turnovers. You'll get these bad plays that will have you frustrated and thinking, why the hell does he keep doing this? How can a professional look this bad? How can a guy that's going to be in the Hall of Fame look this bad at this point in his career? He's making the most basic mistakes. That's the duality of Russell Westbrook. You're going to get the good with the bad. He'll be great, and then he'll be god-awful. That's how he was in OKC, that's how he was in Houston, and that's how he was with the Lakers. The only difference between those two times and here is the change of position that he had. In OKC, once KD left, he was the guy. He was a superstar. He was the number one. The offense went through him. He was the one who controlled the basketball. In Houston, he had to take that co-star position. He was the number two. He played behind Harden because that was Harden's team. That was Harden's offense. Russ was just the co-star. And then in LA, he was the third star. He was a number three. He would play behind LeBron and AD. So he just kept going down. However, his game didn't really change. And if you take a look at his production, his numbers, and his shooting, it matches in each of the spots we've seen. The only difference is his position of, in OKC, he was a superstar, and in LA, he was the third star. He wasn't the guy. So Russell Westbrook plays the same throughout his entire career, no matter what team he's been on. And Lakers fans knew that, but the Lakers organization decided to ignore that and bring him in because LeBron wanted to play with Russ. And when it comes to LeBron, I'm sure LeBron loves Russ. He's definitely got a lot of love for Russ because he wouldn't tell the front office to go get this guy if he didn't have a lot of love for Russ. So he's got a lot of love, a lot of respect for Russ, but man, even LeBron knew this was a failure, man. It just didn't work out. And it's not LeBron's fault. It didn't work out. It's not Russell Westbrook's fault. It didn't work out. It's not Anthony Davis's fault that it didn't work out. Me personally, I just believe they didn't fit well together on the court. It's none of their fault, but the way each of them played, their play styles just don't match up together. With LeBron and AD, they could play off of each other, but you add Russ to try to play off of that, it's just not a good mix. And we saw it. We saw it on a nightly basis. It's just not a good match. When he was in the starting lineup, it just didn't work. Even him coming off the bench, it still wasn't working. And there were plenty of times where he wasn't even on the court in late game situations just because they didn't trust him to close down the stretch. Then when he was on the court, there were situations where he was costing the team with turnovers and late game blunders. You just saw it. You saw it at the end of the day. It wasn't all of Russ's fault, but his play style just didn't mesh well with LeBron and AD. And there's nothing they really could have done about that. We all said that this was not going to work out because their play styles weren't going to match up together. This was not a good fit from the beginning, and we all knew it. But at the end of the day, the Lakers decided to make the trade, and it ended up being a disaster. Russell Westbrook's time as a Laker is something that nobody wants to talk about. It's going to be a dark aspect of Laker history, and they're going to pretend this didn't happen. And I do feel bad for us, man. I really do. It had to have been truly tough to be playing in your hometown and they don't want you. You're playing for a franchise, a storied franchise, one of the most storied franchises in sports, and they didn't want you. They were constantly trying to trade you throughout last year and through this year until finally they got you gone. So you're playing for a city that doesn't want you here. You're playing for an organization that doesn't really want you here and they're looking to trade you. Your name's constantly being brought up on the trade blocks. And at any moment, any second, if somebody says yes, you're out of here. That had to have been stressful to deal with. So, credit to him once again for just being a professional. So, Russ's time in LA has come to an end. I have no clue what's next for Russell Westbrook. Maybe he does get bought out, and if that does happen, he will be free to go to whatever team that may want him. There have been some speculations that the Clippers may be looking to get Russell Westbrook, and if that does happen, hey, that means he'll stay in LA. And if he gets to stay in LA, maybe he's fine with it. He won't be on the Lakers, but he'll be on the Clippers. And he already has chemistry with Paul George because both of them were the partner, the duo, the partner in crime in OKC. They didn't get it to work over there. Maybe they'll work it here alongside Kawhi. I don't know. Maybe you get him with the Clippers, it works out. So, best of luck to Russell Westbrook. This definitely had to be a tough 16 months for him. And thankfully it's over and he'll just move forward and you'll see what's next for Russell Westbrook. Now, as for the Lakers, but as for this trade, every single team that was involved in this trade, and yes, there was a 3-team trade to get this whole thing done. So every team that was involved in this trade was able to get back something that may be useful for them, depending on what their outlook is. For the Lakers, they were able to get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. Now, that is a great trio to bring in. You're bringing in depth. You're bringing in some defense. You're bringing in some shooting. This can help you out because the Lakers were missing those aspects. Now you got a point guard that can run the offense, that can actually shoot the ball. And you're going to add some other pieces that's going to help out in different aspects. And you're going to help increase the depth on your team. So you add this alongside Rui, and you look at Robert Lincoln and say, hey, you couldn't have done a better job to fix the mistakes that you made a year ago. Or at least the mistakes that you guys made as a team a year ago by bringing in Russell Westbrook. So this is the best they could have done. And honestly, you got a great quality out of this. And the best part is maybe Kyrie comes in the offseason. So who knows? Maybe the Lakers may be back. But We'll just have to see. As for Utah, Utah gets Russell Westbrook. However, it doesn't look like Utah's looking to keep Russell Westbrook here, so he may be bought out. And they pick up two other players, role players here, and they also get, I believe, the Lakers' 2027 first-round pick. As for the Minnesota Timberwolves, they end up getting Mike Conley, who was the former point guard from the Utah Jazz. So Utah basically trades Mike Conley to the Minnesota Timberwolves because now Minnesota no longer has D'Angelo Russell. They're going to have a point guard to run their offense there, and I guess Mike Conley's going to be that guy. They also get another role player in Nickel Walker, and they get 3 second-round picks. I have no idea what Minnesota's doing. I don't know what the game plan is because things are not working out. It hasn't looked good for them this season, and honestly, I have no clue what the plan is for them, but hey, we'll see whatever direction they're trying to go. Because, I mean, you're getting all these draft picks. Are you looking to rebuild? These are second-round picks, so I don't know how much you're going to rebuild with that. But are you looking to rebuild? I don't know if you have that. It's just the talent on this team don't look like you're ready to rebuild. I don't know what the Timberwolves' plan is, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do over the next couple of years. As for Utah, we already know Utah was kind of already in this aspect of a rebuild, but for what they gave up and what they got, I don't know if you could sit back and say it was a good deal, especially since Russell Westbrook's most likely not going to play for Utah. They're going to buy him out. So I don't know what to make of this trade for Utah. It really seems like this is a trade that really benefits the Lakers, and the other two kind of just got something out of it. Now, I guess that first-round pick can definitely help out. You get that first-round pick, which can help out to your, for your future, and you get a couple other role players to add to this team, but not much is really going to change for Utah. I don't think Utah or Minnesota is going to have life change for them based off of this trade. However, for the Lakers, it's possible that life could change for them because now they can go from this team that's probably going to miss the playoffs to a team that can fight, potentially make the play-in tournament. Then from making the play-in tournament, they could potentially make the playoffs. And from there, if they can all stay healthy, they could potentially go on a run. I don't know what the hell is going to happen, but yeah, Lakers, if you're going to say somebody want to trade, the Lakers definitely want to trade in the short term because they got Russell Westbrook out of here and they got pieces that can help them try to compete moving forward. And we'll just see what happens from there. But yeah, this is a crazy situation. I really just wanted to talk about the whole Russell Westbrook situation. In terms of the trade, this doesn't really do much for Minnesota or Utah in the short term, but it could help them in the long run, and we'll see. Especially with those draft picks that Minnesota got. Maybe they're looking to rebuild some things here, but I mean, you still have Anthony Edwards there. You still have Cat. We'll just see what happens with them. But yeah, Russell Westbrook's no longer a Laker, and Laker Nation couldn't be happier. We'll just see how this season turns out for them. Will they find a way to make the playoffs? We'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.